Hey everyone, Tony Winston here at Jazz Piano College. I've got a really great song today by Jimmy Webb called Up, Up, and Away, and it was done by the Fifth Dimension. If you're not familiar with the song, go listen to it. I think this song has good jazz potential. It's got a very sophisticated chord progression and melody, and let's get into it. So it starts off with these beautiful major seventh chords. And, I'm just going to play little pieces of the song like I normally do because the YouTube copyright police are out today. I just saw them pass in front of the house a minute ago, so they're on the lookout. So if I do a little performance of the song, I'll stick it in another video, and the link should be somewhere. Starts off with these beautiful major seventh chords. Does it again. Now this is interesting just because if you take the same kind of chord, like a major ninth chord, and move it around, it sounds pretty cool. You could take, say, a minor seventh chord, like the so what chord, and move it around, and it works pretty nicely. All right, tangent. Does it again. Let's get to the verse. And this melody is repeated in several different keys. All right, so let's talk about that a little bit. We've got F major. You could just start with a major seventh chord. Nothing wrong with that. But I think it sounds a little better to add that major seventh in the second bar. And here, it's very interesting. Now, if you're going to improvise on this, you're going to notice right away that this note is the raised fourth, so it gives you the Lydian scale. Like that. But if you think about it in terms of the F chord, like you're on F, and then if you just switch to F mixolydian, those are the same notes as that E flat Lydian scale, right? That's E flat Lydian, but this is F mixolydian. So that way your brain stays in the key of F. So all you're doing is adding one more flat in, which is the E flat, as you get to that chord. And then you can do the same thing here on A flat. So now A flat mixolydian. Okay. And I did this video yesterday, and I realized when I was writing out the chart that I had a few things wrong because I was listening to the recording and every time I listen to it, I notice, that's just might be a little bit different. So I'll make sure this chart is fairly accurate. So we go on to the next part. We got B here. And it makes sense to just do it like this. And I think if you were writing out changes, to improvise on, you would just go B, B major seventh, B dominant seventh, on to E major seventh. But on the recording, the bass goes up to that D sharp, and it really just sounds like a minor chord there. No seventh or anything. And then here, I'm playing like B9 over D sharp, but that's really just a D sharp minor 7 flat 5. And you're allowed to put an E onto that chord. So there's no real clash there with the melody, even though it is a little bit, it gives you a little bit of dissonance there, but that's an allowable tension on a minor 7-flat-5 chord. You're allowed to add the 9, and you hear that frequently, and the 11th, but also the flat 9. According to Berklee College of Music chord formulas for tensions, this is okay. And here, just E minor 6, could easily be A 7th, like an A 13th chord there. So, if you're adapting this for a jazz trio or something, just giving you some ideas here. But let's do it the way the recording is. And then here we have I don't think it's anything but just a straight B chord. Yeah, the 6 sounds wrong. And maybe you could do it like that. The top note is that on the recording, but on the piano it might work out better to go. And then this one is. All right. Sometimes I hear the C on top, but the D seems right. And then, like any good top 40 song, popular song, it gets to the chorus right away. And, here you could do pianistic things like that. And here's a nice, like an F dominant 7th, chorus again. And you could do something like. And here, it sounds just like the intro, but it's up a whole step from where the intro was. The intro is here. And now we're up a whole step. But it still manages to go right back to F. So that's cool. Plays through the verse again. And then the second time, we go to B flat. And if you're on E flat, you would think maybe it would go to A flat or someplace besides B flat. But B flat makes sense. It's the 4 chord of F, so why not? It's just odd getting to it from this. Now notice that's so much like the original melody. So, right, same kind of thing where you add the major 7th in. Now the string line is much higher, right? But rather than stick it up top where it's going to sound like the melody or something on piano, because you don't have singers and violins, you have piano and piano. So this is the way I went. I put it down lower. So it's F with the 7th in the bass there. And this is a great place to just play the mu chord, right? It's like a B flat, but just suspend the 2nd like that, and then put the 3rd back in down below. And then the melody. So I could have put E flat over B flat there. It's C minor 7th or whatever. This is how I do it. And then, the guys are singing here, so it's a little lower. And we could call that G major or G flat major 13, because I've got the major 7th and the 9, and then I'm just adding what seems like the 6th, but with the 7th already there, call it the 13. And, this is just out of the blue. I mean, who goes to that? You're on G flat, and all of a sudden it's, and then back to F. Now we got a real clash going on between the melody here. It's supposed to be like a D flat major 7th, but the melody is A. They just hit it for a second and jump off of it, and I have it held out here on the chart. So you could go like this, but then that doesn't sound like the melody because it doesn't go dun da da. So you could do something like this and play, especially if you're doing like a jazz thing, play this slash chord. And my idea for an arrangement is to put 2 extra measures of that chord there, and then come back to the verse again. Let me play that whole bridge for you. See if I can sneak this by the copyright police. Now I had another idea for this part. Just use some 4th voicings. It's very modern sounding there anyway, but even just like that and then that, possibly. And you might find some interesting ways to get through that. Reharmonize that any way you want to. Well, what else did I think about on this song? Oh, on the at the end of the chorus there, we're in G. Putting like a more pianistic idea would be okay. All right, but I don't want to give you too many ideas because I'm sure you have plenty of your own. So anyway, a great song by Jimmy Webb, Up, Up, and Away. For an ending, that is the introduction to George Benson's Breezin', except he does it in D. And I just think something like that kind of fits the mood of the song a little bit, and it certainly is similar to moving these chords around in whole steps. Here we're kind of just going up the major chord there, so. Oh no, it's up the minor chord, I'm sorry. Okay, I guess that's a wrap. Please stay tuned for my new series where I'm going to do 3 songs, Green Dolphin Street, What a Wonderful World, and Have You Met Miss Jones, and Applied Jazz Concepts. I'll probably do 10 or 12 videos about this, starting with the very simplest chord and melody, and then moving on to, more advanced jazz concepts. And hopefully that will help you in your progress towards being a great jazz musician, which I know you can be. All right, thanks everyone, and I'll see you soon.